the power of our living?
Well, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to people in Eswatini. Good evening to our South African brothers and sisters. Good evening to some people in Zimbabwe and Lesotho, and those that will be joining us as we progress. My name is Gugulethu Kaba. It's the 12th of January, 2025. I'm so happy today that we are starting the year of 2025, all of us as members of Amandla Omnotho, and hoping that we have really enjoyed our holidays and have enjoyed time with our families. It's such a privilege and an honor for me to be here with you and to lead once again this discussion of Amandla Omnotho in driving our own destinies and own economies in the continent. We shall not relent. We shall not give up. We shall keep on doing. What is important is not necessarily speed, but the direction that we are going. And I am very confident that the direction that we have taken of driving our own destiny when it comes to economy and getting ourselves immersed into the entrepreneurship is very important. I believe it's the far most important thing that we can ever do, especially as African natives. Why I'm saying that is because we all know where we come from. We all know the ground that we need to cover. We all know the challenges that have been there for all of us as African people, wherever we find ourselves. And we all know what we need to do, I believe, right now to catch up to other people who are really driving their countries to higher heights and deeper depths and greater success. And again, it is up to us to drive our destinies. If it is to be, it is up to us. And that's what I want to say to you as we open this year of 2025. And remember, we have said this year, it's the year where we are doing. We are going to be talking a little less, but do a little more. One certain minister I won't mention, from another country in SADC, one day he was on radio and addressing issues of social-political economy, and he said, the problem with South Africans, they talk more, and he was referring, obviously comparing with himself somewhere. He said, we do more, and whilst you talk more. What a very nice challenge. Was good. We have to really change the way of doing things. Let's do more. Entrepreneurship is a very risky business. It's not a very easy journey. And those of you who are real entrepreneurs at various levels will attest and agree with me that this is not an easy journey where you just cruise and move and get things done the way you want them done as you are dreaming about them. But instead, it's a very difficult process, which much of the time requires the resilience, the strength, the toughness of mind, the tenacity, and the endurance, and it requires you to time and again take some breaks and reflect, look at yourself and think out the box, try this and move to that, and to do all sorts of necessary things that you need to do to get ahead and keep moving. I was listening to the founder of Airbnb lately, which I would very much urge for some of you who have not, just to listen to the founders of big businesses, founders of small businesses. And I think this year we're going to try and feature quite a lot of founders of businesses to just share with us the journey, not just the destiny, not just where they have reached the success, but to share with us the journey, because oftentimes we think when we see people so successful, things have been just good for them. And yet it's been rough. There have been betrayals. There have been so many things that have happened as they were trying to pursue their dreams. So today, I'm very excited as we are starting the year, because there is so much that needs to be achieved and accomplished this year. And sometimes I wish we had 25 hours in a day, if not 40. And sometimes I wish one were to clone oneself. Always as good to ube no calculate about ube no Boni Dlamini about 20, ube no Daniel Mambo. Welcome, brother. about 20, about Daily Gumbi, and my good doctor, Rose. Welcome from Nigeria, my sister. We will be coming there soon. So I wish you can replicate yourself and just say, this is me. I'll plug the one aside, plug the other one aside, all of that. But life, unfortunately, doesn't happen like that, and it needs us to plan and make the use of time that we have and put it to best use. So this was the way of welcoming you and thanking you and appreciating that you are still on and you are still pushing. Already, it's 8 minutes past 5. We're already sitting at 104. We are going to be obviously recording. My son is helping me to record this. And after this, he uploads all our talks and our chats to the YouTube, Amandla Omnotho TV YouTube channel. Please go there, subscribe, make sure that you really become part of that and like our channel so that, you know, we can have more people viewing and more people liking, etc., etc. We're going to be very much that channel going forward this year. So just to take care of some of the announcements and certain things, like before we start and get into the subject of tonight, remember Amandla Omnotho is a tri-dimensional being where we are driving the platform to share good quality information and have good quality conversations with entrepreneurs, business people, and all key stakeholders to help us drive and move forward. So it's a platform that we've created precisely to ensure that it helps everybody, especially for people who may not have really good access to quality information like many of us as we come from rural areas. And secondly, we have launched last year as well Operation Buyelekhaya, which is a program that is urging people who are coming from rural areas to go back to your rural area, your township space, invest yourself in there, invest your money, invest. You know, come up with programs and anything that you think you need to do, because we must not be detached from our communities where we come from. We are a product of our own communities, whether we like it or not. And sometimes our communities break us, and some of our communities, they build us. But by and large, communities build us, and we need to go back there and find a way of building our communities. The tough as it may be sometimes, but we must be intentional about it. And lastly, last year, which I was very excited, the Rural Chamber of Commerce and Industry. That chamber we launched with aplomb, and it was a beautiful launch in Durban. And Dr. Zwelakhe Mteto was there, and I think he's here today, the Member of Parliament, and many others. We're expecting the minister. We are still in conversation with him, and he was very sorry that he couldn't attend, but we launched that platform. And that organization is a non-profit company where in the next few weeks, we're going to get people to sort of like share more about what's going to be happening, because we're packaging rural parcels of land. In our rural places, there's quite a lot of things that are happening there, or that should be happening there, particularly in the space of agriculture. I was very happy whilst I was at Nongoma. The people of Nongoma came together, professionals, but you know, let's build the Nongoma we want. And I was very hopeful to share this with my colleagues who saw it fit that I become a convener in my town, together with others and members of the royal family, to drive the Nongoma vision so that we can build our own city of the king, because that's where literally 5 kings, including King Misuzulu, live, Nongoma, but the town and the environment does not befit the king in terms of its look, especially the town. It's very small and all of that. And again, this is not to blame anybody or abdicate the responsibility. It's for each one of us to say, let's do something in our own small spaces. Let us come together, just like the people of Nongoma have done, to say, let's rebuild the walls and put Nongoma on the map, not for all the stuff that sometimes people make joke about when they refer to Nongoma. So this is just a random example to say, when we're talking rurality, rural economic development and Operation Bieleka. That's exactly what we mean. And we're hoping that people can take a leaf from there and then start developing their own areas and have a very healthy competition to say, we are going to develop Mzinto, we are going to develop Manzini, we are going to develop any of those places where you come from. So these are things that I want to share with you very quickly as we move. And lastly, before I get to our speaker, we have the people that wanted to be part of the Dubai investors. Remember Frank, and I'm very happy that some of you have given me the project summaries. We had a session with Frank yesterday. He's so excited, looking forward to helping fund businesses in South Africa. What I must say, there will be a conversation between our funders from Dubai and the business itself that needs funding. But for that conversation, it's going to be obviously an open conversation because there could be equity, consideration from and all sorts of stuff. So for those who have submitted, please bear that in mind. You may have to get into that conversation with yourself. So and he's very ready. Actually, he's told me that they are looking forward to funding some businesses and releasing funds as early as March, if not February, but March, April, which is quicker than our normal processes here at home, which normally takes 6 to 8 months, sometimes 9 months. So therefore, please bear in mind that we are going to be, so far, I think I've received less than 10. We want businesses that are almost ready. The startups and something that is total greenfield, it may take a bit of a while, and therefore I'm encouraging those, firstly, who have got businesses that they feel are ready. The feasibility studies have been done. They are ready to roll because it's not like they are starting from scratch. So would urge that first and foremost, we get people who have got that. Now, coming to our topic for tonight, at 5:15 exactly, I'm very honored to introduce my dear brother who is here with us. And this brother of ours is accompanied by our usual dear brother, Dr. Marange, and who is here with us as well, having launched from Zimbabwe. He left for Zimbabwe a couple of days ago. And then so he's going to speak as well. But what I want to say about Jerome Magumbe, he's a chief agronomist. And I asked him to give me his qualifications. He sent them and then he deleted them. He's too much humble with his very important qualifications as an agronomist. But I've been sharing some of his pictures in terms of the turmeric. This gentleman, he has been able to optimize and work out the output of turmeric, particularly, and ginger and other crops in the medicinal herb space. Whereas 20 tons per hectare is a normal yield for turmeric, and Mr. Magumbe has been able to push the tonnage up to 40 tons. For those that went with me to Zimbabwe in 2020, the year of COVID, just before COVID struck, they would remember we went and saw a whole lot of medicinal herbs at La Rochelle. It was such a wonder to be able to see 185 hectares being able to produce over 110 million rand annual sales, which was quite amazing. And from there until today, things have improved drastically and tremendously in La Rochelle, in Zimbabwe. But today, we've got one gentleman who's very key in driving medicinal herbs and turmeric, particularly in Zimbabwe. And I said it to Dr. Marange, I think one comes to a point where you are tired of talking, but you don't get tired of sharing the information. And hence I said this year, we are going to work with people who are now going to buy the seeds and start working. And saying all of this, sometimes you become more like a broken record to keep talking about the same thing. But I'm happy that Currently, South Africa, we've got people who have ordered seeds, starting in Koffiefontein, where we're harvesting turmeric next month or beginning of March, as well as in Ulundi with Mapteles, who is here today. I'm so happy we're receiving her seeds last month, and she's already planting. But what is important is to do things right and not do shortcuts. And that is why we invited this expert. And right in the end, we're going to talk about what's going to be happening going forward. In terms of him coming here, being hosted by ourselves, myself, and Dr. Marange, but those people that would want to work with him in doing what is called preparation work. So on that score, I want to first give to Dr. Marange to just 2-3 minutes and then hand over to Mr. Magumbe, who is our key person tonight, who's going to be talking to us about turmeric farming, which I can tell you it's a gold mine. And I would love for each one of you to make sure that you are part of farming this crop and don't let it slip through your fingers underneath your foot, but make sure that you're part of this revolution, because we're intentional and we keep moving and we're going to achieve our ultimate superordinate goals. Dr. Marange, as you just give us a brief and then talk to and over to Mr. Magumbe.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings to you, my brother, my partner in Global African Herbal Solutions, to be present in Germany and in Africa. So you have said it all. I'll give the platform to Mr. Magumbe, who is very close to me. We were together at school, that is at St. Augustine's, near Rochelle, incidentally. And then we went to University of Zimbabwe together. He was doing agriculture. I wanted to do medicine. And then I ended up seeing a dead body. I decided to do accounts, then went to Germany. The rest is history. So my brother, Magumbe here, he's very passionate. He's the best agricultural agronomist in turmeric, ginger, cassava, and turmeric in the world. Having done all this in Israel, Oxford University, and America, and he's humble. He just, the moment he starts talking like you are going to hear, you realize that this God is God-driven, and he has got godly intentions, which actually consolidated whilst he was in Israel. So the rest will talk after he has spoken our way forward in everything we are doing. So I give the platform to Mr. Magumbe. Thank you.
Maybe whilst Mr. Magumbe is just trying to unmute his mic, and I'm going to try and talk to him on the side, Dr. Marange, maybe just take us through some of these medicinal herbs, because I know we are busy glorifying turmeric right now, but there's quite a lot of them. I've shared them in the group. We've got over 20 or 30 of these medicinal herbs. Over to you, Dr. Marange.
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. The herbal remedies, remember our body is organic, and normally we are feeding our bodies with inorganic matter, which is causing a lot of diseases. Remember I told people that I last took my tablet 1995. Ever since, I'm feeding on natural remedies, and medicine must become food and not synthetic application into our body to destroy our livers and our kidneys, and thereby compromising our immune systems. Now, we have several herbs that can only grow in Africa. We are talking of moringa, and moringa can be planted in Africa where it is hot and dry, and because it thrives on such temperatures. We've got herbs for dry, arid areas. We've got herbs for wet, humid areas, and we've got herbs for mountainous cold areas like Lesotho, for example. Right. The range of herbs we are talking about here which we want to push into the market directly would be moringa, for example, which is available all over. We've got wild harvesting of some of these things. For example, coca-cola can be wild harvested elsewhere. We've got resurrection can also be wild harvested elsewhere. And we have to teach people on how to do wild harvesting sustainably and to make sure that they comply with the hygiene for wild harvesting. For example, when we want to harvest our wild resurrection, we don't go there smoking. We don't go there with our artificial hair. We don't go there with perfumes. We must put on our protective clothing, and we must do our work in groups. We shouldn't smoke when we are harvesting. We should carry our all some sanitation material like a bottle of 2 liters of water with some natural detergents to wash our hands when we release ourselves in the bush. And we must make sure we harvest in groups and control each other to maintain the hygiene that is required. We don't take, we will be supplied with the material on which to pack our harvest, and we don't take this home. We then have to take it where it's going to be weighed and taken for proper storage and then transportation. The logistics will be done in a manner that is highly hygienic as well. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yes, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Doc. Yeah. Go ahead. It's fine. Yeah.
So we have lots and lots and lots of these herbs all over Africa, and the returns are very high. So what we'll be doing is we train people to be able to do that wild harvesting and do our certification, which is what we call fair trade certification, which must carry a premium of 50 cents per kg on everything we do there. Why this certification wild certification of our fair trade is because most of the things that have been going out of Africa into all over the world have been plagiarized and people have not been benefiting. It started during the 80s where the people all over the world, especially people coming from Africa, were asking questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Dr. Marange, let me hold you right there, my brother. And let's test if Mr. Magumbe can hear us. I see his mic is on and his video. Mr. Yes. Magumbe? Yeah.
Yeah, greetings to everybody. Surely, as Mr. Guguleto or Mr. Marange have said, turmeric is a high-value crop. The Indians are generating a lot of money. We're talking about billions of US dollars. They generate a lot of money. You can just Google it and find it yourself. They generate sometimes, it was last year and last year, but one, they even raised about 215 billion US dollars by exporting turmeric. But yet Africa has got the best climatic conditions, especially the SADC region. The turmeric that we grow in the southern region, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, and Mozambique, it's of much higher quality as compared to their turmeric in India. We have got the best climatic conditions. In Africa, Africa has got 65% of the arable land as compared with the whole world. So we need to take advantage of that. We have got very good temperatures, very good climatic conditions. And if you grow your turmeric here, and someone grows his turmeric in China and India, if you put them in the lab for analysis, our turmeric comes out to be the best. So we need to take advantage of that. And we have got the best arable land, and turmeric is a crop which pays very, very well. It's a high-value crop, but you are not supposed to take any shortcuts if you are growing turmeric. I've done a lot of research about turmeric. I've been growing turmeric for the past 15 years. Now, my research that I've done, practical research, I'm now producing about 30 to 40 tons per hectare. My counterparts in India, even in Israel, even in some countries like Nigeria, Algeria, and Egypt, They are producing far much less. Yet, our turmeric that we are growing is 100% organic. We are doing organic farming. We don't want to do any GMOs. We want to follow the biblical, natural ways of growing our crops. So now, the world now is here where Mr. Guguleto was just saying that herbs, that is the way forward, because medicinal herbs, we must take it as food so that we counter some of these diseases like cancer. And as you are aware, the kind of food that we eat, sometimes it compromises our health. So turmeric, it takes about 8 to 7 months if you do it very well. But the key to it is land preparation. If you prepare it very well, because if you prepare it very well for 3 to 4 months, your yield per hectare, it will definitely improve. All the people that want to go into organic farming, as Mr. Guguleto said, I'll be coming to South Africa, I'll be teaching them. I do what you call practical training, not theory. I'm a practical trainer. I'll go on the ground, I'll do site visits, I'll teach them practically how to grow it and how to irrigate it, how to do the weed control, how to harvest it, and so forth. I'll be doing everything. And then we can do other herbs like ginger as well, because ginger and turmeric, they're in the same family. And we also do cassava as well. All those crops can be grown successfully in the SADC region. Yeah. For example, in India, there are states like Maharashtra states, they grow turmeric. They export quite a lot. India is the biggest exporter of turmeric globally. They produce turmeric. But the good thing with turmeric is that the turmeric that we grow in the southern region is of much higher quality, but we are not growing it. So we also want to tap in their market. At the same time, our turmeric will be organic turmeric. I am a hands-on farmer, not a theorist. Yes, I'm a very practical person, because even the Bible says you must examine the fruit, and we are going to be judged by our works. So a lot of people have been coming from South Africa, Botswana, even as far as Egypt, to see some of the fields that have grown turmeric, and they were quite surprised, because I use very simple methods. But the method that I'm using, they need someone with patience. So since turmeric is of high value, it's also very important to our health, because as you are aware, there are so many diseases that are affecting us these days, like cancer, which is a big problem now. But now turmeric addresses some of those things. It has got, if you eat it, it fights some of these things that causes cancer. It improves your immune system. It makes your mind work very well. It also improves your eyesight very well. There's so many health benefits. They go up to about 45 health benefits. But what we're trying to avoid is to avoid applying these synthetic fertilizers. We want to use the natural methods of farming that were used by our forefathers. Yeah, yes. So yes, a lot of people, they've done a lot of research by genetically modified ones. We are saying no to that. The reason being, because some of these things, in the long term, they affect our health system. So even if you read your Old Testament very well, genetic engineering, it's something that God doesn't approve, but it's happening these days, because people, they want to achieve a higher yield per hectare. But I'm saying yes, with the knowledge and with the revelation that I've got through research, and also God has given me that revelation, we can now produce a higher yield as compared to people who will be using synthetic fertilizers. Yeah, I can now challenge everybody now. I've challenged a lot of people, especially some of my Indian friends and some farmers in Algeria and Egypt, who are also growing turmeric. The yield per hectare comes to about 12 tons, but I'm now achieving even 30, 40, 50 tons per hectare, following the natural methods, natural organic methods. But there's no shortcut to that, because if you eat a plant that has been grown naturally, the natural resistance also comes into your body as well. So we'll be able to fight different diseases. So this is what I can conclude, because I can spend the whole day talking about these herbs. But turmeric price, the market price for turmeric is soaring up, is going up and up and up. And there's a shortage for turmeric. India, it only exports 20% of what they produce. The rest, 80%, they consume it themselves. And the government of India is established a research center, and they are doing a lot of value addition with turmeric. A lot of Indian farmers, their life have changed because of growing turmeric, but yet Africa has got the best climatic conditions. We've got a lot of water that we are not making use of it, which is just going into the ocean. So now, together with my mentor, Dr. Marange, and also Mr. Guguletu, I think we can go very far by teaching and empowering you. And since he has said that I'll be coming to South Africa, I'll be teaching the farmers to do practical and hands-on training. The types of turmeric that we are growing, there's what you call lacadum variety. That is what we'll be growing. There's what you call Kajero. We'll be also growing that. We also have got white turmeric and black turmeric. But surprising, science has proved that turmeric, it came from Africa, not from India. It's surprising, though. I was reading a book written by a Chinese scientist. He had made a lot of discoveries and has identified turmeric in the bushes in Gonarezhou, natural game parks that has been growing there wildly and so forth. So now, most of the plants that the world is actually depending on, they came from Africa. So it's something that we need to be proud of. And yes, the Indians are growing it successfully well. They've claimed it is to be theirs, but science, and most of the scientists have proved that there's so much turmeric, and to find it in deserts and other places, but it is a drought-tolerant crop. But we need to grow turmeric. It's very good for our health. And I'll just leave it again to Mr. Guguletu.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want us to have just this brief engagement before Dr. Marange comes in. You spoke about, I want you to just repeat rather slowly in terms of the varieties of turmeric and as to which a variety is most sought after, Mr. Magumbe, as well as just talk a bit about talk a bit about the output, right? The output in terms of the plant. How much does each plant, in terms of kg, produces, right? In your own space, as you are telling us about the optimization of the output of the turmeric. Just those two questions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a plant, if you do a very good land preparation, a plant can give you between 500 grams to 1 kg to 1.2 to 1.5 kgs, one plant of turmeric. The variety that we are growing is called a lacadum variety. It's a lacadum variety. It's one of the best varieties of turmeric globally. I think you can check it out. You can Google. It's called a lacadum variety. It takes between 7 to 8 months. It's a heavy eater of organic manure. These things, they like organic manure. And you need to have a very good supply of water. And you also need to do a very good land preparation where you will be digging some trenches. The technical side of growing turmeric, I need more time to that because I have to come out with the diagrams and everything else. So I'll be doing that when I come to South Africa to train the farmers who will be also growing turmeric. And our turmeric, we don't use any herbicides or any chemicals. And we just use organic matter, natural things. That's what we'll be doing only. We don't spray anything. We don't spray any herbicide, any chemical. We want our turmeric to have its natural resistance. Yeah, we are not going to be adding anything on turmeric. It is a natural antibiotic, turmeric itself. And as I've said earlier on, that it has got so many health benefits. They go up to 45 very important health benefits. And yes, if you eat turmeric, I was talking to one biologist and one urologist in India. They are saying that if you've been eating turmeric for 5 to 6 years continuously, your chances of suffering from prostate cancer or from suffering, they become very slim. They become very slim. So it's something that we need to focus on. So I think I've answered that, Mr. Guguletu. Have I answered that?
No, that's very good. By the way, as Mr. Magumbe invited last month to an India conference virtually, so we're speaking, and because South Africa, if maybe just for some of you who may not be aware, last year in June, July, we launched the India-South Africa Chamber of Commerce, celebrating for 30 years as partners in terms of bilateral economic trade. And it was very interesting that India has now reached a stage of food sufficiency, where they've been big. They just went big in terms of agricultural, driving the industry of agriculture. Their only challenge right now is trying to save food that gets to rot, because food is a perishable,
yes.
So it rots at some point. So and I can attest to quite a lot of things, having traveled and sort of like engage with a lot of Indians in terms of food industry as a whole, but particularly turmeric. And a lot of farmers there don't want to farm nothing but turmeric. But take us through a little bit, Mr. Magumbe, Jerome. I know the technical part you'll cover when you visit South Africa, but take us through very briefly about this land preparation, because we've seen this in Coffee Fontaine. I think we planted at a wrong time, but obviously we've had to endure the pain of frost, and therefore buy frost covers, because I think the preparation part wasn't covered adequately. I see Mr. Magumbe has just left. He's being troubled by the network. Please bear with us as Mr. Magumbe is joining back. So he's going to join back automatically. So Dr. Marange will always be interplaying.
In between, yes.
We'll be interplaying with you. Go ahead.
Okay. In between, when we're talking about yields, what we can achieve right now is what he was saying, from 40 upwards, due to proper preparation. And when we are harvesting, we are not only harvesting the tubers, we are also harvesting the leaves. And we expect the leaves to range from 10 to 20 tons per hectare. Some can grow up to your belly, some can grow up to your knee height. That's why we say we are going to achieve at least 10 tons per hectare. And the dried leaves are going to be used for turmeric coffee, which is now in great demand and fashionable, turmeric milk drinks, which is also in great demand, and turmeric tea. Then the prices can be ranging from 10 euros upwards. So you will find that the combination of harvesting your tubers and the combination of tubers and your leaves is a great plus indeed. And we at Global African Herbal Solutions will be having that direct market. You know yourself, Guguletu, when we were traversing about 16 years ago across the whole of Germany, wherever we went, we would be greeted by coffee. And now we are going to make sure that the coffee will be met with everywhere we go. We blend it with turmeric. So what we are going to grow within the SADC is still a dust in the ocean. But it means our presence on the market, directly dealing with the market, is very good. The tubers, we are going down to them to pharmaceutical companies, which we have already with our partners, it, Guguletu, and then we are going to then each pharmaceutical company will be requiring us to provide this turmeric for the curcumin substance, which is required for a lot of tablets, which are being demanded by people all over, especially Europe. And Germany commands almost, Germany commands almost 1 billion of the population that we are going to supply these things. And turmeric capsules become very important in people's daily lives in order to counter all these diseases that are happening. And when you started the Zoom link, the lady who was talking about health, everyone now today is concerned about their health. You can have all the money you want, everything, but if you are not healthy, then you are compromised in everything you do. So our turmeric and many others that we will discuss are the way to go.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dr. Marange. The lady that I was playing when we started off was our late sister, Mrs. Zanele Mbogazi, and she was talking and advising while she was in hospital before she passed. And I was just playing that. I knew Zanele very well as we worked together, Unukozi, and it was quite very sad story to have left us just like that. However, we can take a lot of lessons from the video that she left us, where she was saying health is wealth, and let's invest more into our health. Mr. Magumbe, I brought in Dr. Marange because you lapsed a little bit there, and you're now back. I wanted you to just briefly give us an outlay, even though you won't go deeper into it, but in terms of preparation, just like I was giving as an example of Coffee Fontaine, an example of people who may just want to plant in winter, and maybe which places, if you know, in South Africa, they are better. They can actually withstand, being planted turmeric at any time. So over to you.
Okay. KZN is one of the best places to plant turmeric, Northwest Limpopo province. You can plant turmeric throughout the year, but you've got to now to plant it in greenhouse. You simply have got to avoid the winter, because turmeric doesn't like the winter. So when you plant it, when you are on a rich winter, it will be the harvesting time. So KZN, Northwest province, Limpopo province, areas where there's high temperature, yes, when the temperature, but turmeric likes high temperature and a very good supply of water. In terms of the soils, they don't matter quite a lot. We can always adjust the soils by mixing our soils with organic manure. There's a formula that I will be teaching the farmers how to grow turmeric successfully well. For example, we normally dig some trenches. Mr. Marange is aware of that, and Mr. Gugulete is aware of that. You've seen the videos where sometimes we dig in some trenches where it will be 1 meter in row, then 35 centimeters deep. We remove the soil, then it becomes a trench. Then we put in organic matter, cow manure, chicken manure. It can be wheat straw. It can be anything organic. Then we have to water it. The decomposition is going to take place. That's why we've got to do our preparation in time. So the best time to do our preparation will be February, March, April, May, and June and July. So that July, we start the planting. When you plant it in July, when you've done a very good preparation, because when the decomposition starts to take place, you'll be testing our manure into the laboratory, doing analysis to check whether they're now suitable for the growth. So there is a lot to learn on the technical side, but we'll be moving together, and people are free to come and see our demonstration plots that we have planted turmeric. Mr. Marange knows them, and Mr. Gugulete as well. And last year I had a lot of visitors. Most people who visited me in Zimbabwe were quite surprised. We're white commercial farmers. They're very much surprised. There are some farmers that are growing turmeric in South Africa. Their yield per hectare was about 8 tons to 12 tons. So they were quite surprised to see me achieving about 35 tons per hectare. And yes, they were very much surprised, and they were humbled by the methods that I've been doing. And I'm still doing a lot of research. This year that we're in, I think I'll have I'm going to achieve about 60 tons per hectare. It's all going to be organic farming, no GMO seeds. But there's a certain techniques, certain methods that we've got to follow that were practiced by our forefathers, but they were not recorded. You see now, because the Bible says, "My children, they perish because of lack of knowledge." Yeah, we must not eat these GMO foods. They are not very good for our health. So we need to eat proper foods, organic foods. That is what is recommended. Our bodies are meant to eat organic foodstuffs. So I'll be with you, and I'll be giving people proper training, hands-on training, how to grow things successfully well, following the organic methods. Yes, people have learned, they've got degrees, they've got diplomas, but what they've been taught and what is on the ground, they are two different things.
Sure. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr.
So
Magumbe.
I think I can hand it over to you, Mr. Gugulete.
I want us to go.
If there's any other question, you can ask me.
To the questions, let me just ask these questions on the
Hello, Mr.
chat
Gugleto?
box. I am still here. I hope you can hear me, right? Can
Yes,
you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes,
okay,
yes,
thank you
yes.
so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm going to pass there are questions that have been asked here. Greetings, Mr. Magumbe. Is turmeric vegetatively propagated or we buy seeds every cycle of planting? A very quick answer.
That's a very good answer. You see, that's why I said we don't like GMOs or turmeric that we give you. You buy it once. You always plant it now and again, now and again. That is the kind of things that you should be eating, not something that has been modified by somebody else to make money. Yeah, we need to eat proper food.
That
needs to go. Yes, that needs to go into our system. You get it once and that's all. You're eating something that is very healthy. Our ginger is safe. So we'll be giving you the right seeds. It's different from the seed that you buy from the seed houses. You plant it once and that's it. That's it. No, we were given the information so that the society benefits as well. The world must benefit. So many people are dying prematurely, yes, because of wrong things that
I know you're so passionate about this, but I'm going to hold you. I want you to answer concisely because I want us to engage more people. And I'm glad that you've answered that. You the same seeds you propagate, you use. I mean, the multinationals will not love us for this, but so be it.
Yes. Yes.
What are the current market prices per kg?
Yeah, the current market prices for kg now in India, it's they're going for about $6, $6, $7, $8 per kg. In South Africa, it's going at about $15 to $20 per kg. You can just Google and check it. In Dubai, they are going sometimes at $30, $35 a kg. Yes. Yeah, but sometimes
that is unprocessed, right? Your raw turmeric,
yes,
right?
Unprocessed. Yeah, unprocessed. There's a critical shortage of turmeric. There's a critical shortage of turmeric globally. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's go to this one. Which organic manure do you use? Cow, sheep, or pigs?
Normally I don't normally want to use pigs because we will be catering for various people of different religions. We normally use cow manure, sheep manure, chicken manure. Yes, that's what we'll be mainly using. Or we use vermicompost. We take different types of plants and then we heap them, and we take the armyworms, we put them there, we let them decompose for a period of time. We take them, we do analysis. Yeah, that's basically what we're using. But you see, the application is what matters. Yes, the application. Yeah, it's not as simple as what I'm saying. There's the practical element, which is very, very important.
Which is what you'll be coming to train people on. And
yes,
then,
demonstrate.
That was from Delhi Gumbi. And then Mabude Mokine. What soil type is suitable for turmeric and ginger? Can clay soil be tended? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The soils, they don't matter. I did a course when I was in Israel. The soils, they don't matter. We can always adjust it. The soils, they don't matter at all. It can be raw, red, sandy soil, black soils, clay soil. The soils, they don't matter. They don't matter at all.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's always a different approach to each and every soil. The approach that if you're dealing with sandy, there's a different approach. Clay, there's a different approach. Black soils, clay, a different approach. But they have to produce a very good yield per hectare.
Mm. Lovely. I will combine the questions of Mzamo Sokela and Lisa Ndlovu because they were asking more about can it be planted in KZN Midlands? I can speak on behalf of my brother. He doesn't know much of KwaZulu-Natal. His mother, by the way, is from KwaZulu-Natal. Moved over to Zimbabwe a long time ago. What are the ideal climate and soil conditions for planting turmeric? Right? I think he has answered that. Probably just want to recap on that. What are the ideal climate and soil conditions for planting turmeric?
Yeah, you see, turmeric, we just need a good temperature. The case the temperatures are good, where you have about, let's say, 20, 25 degrees Celsius, thereabout, plus or minus. Yeah, the soils, they don't matter quite a lot. They don't matter quite. I need to emphasize that. Because you can grow turmeric in any, even in the desert. Yeah. But the winter, You must not grow it in the winter. So I'll be teaching people how to grow turmeric using different altitudes and even with different soil. It doesn't matter quite a lot. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Sis Ayo. Thank you for your compliment. You're asking as well, what are the different ways to consume or use turmeric?
Yes, other people, for example, I eat it fresh. Other people, they extract the juice. Other people, they dry it into powder. They add it into their vegetables. So I eat turmeric every day. I'm not on any tablets. I don't even suffer from high blood pressure. I always check my blood, everything. I always visit my physicians. I'm okay. The last time I took some tablets a long time ago was I eat these herbs. Yeah, I take herbs as my food. Yes.
Oh, okay. No, thank you so much. Great to hear that your forefather was Frank Mngomezulu in a large sort of like space to plant. Obviously, it would be good for you to emulate him, my brother. We truly appreciate that. And how long does it take for turmeric to be ready? I have a land in KZN Gandla, about 4 hectares. I think he has covered that 7 to 8 months. Can we plant in Gauteng? And how big must the land be to start?
Gauteng is good. The temperatures are also good. Yeah, it also depends with your budget. But I always encourage people to start small, but there are so many things to learn. Yes, there are so many things to learn. As you'll be growing turmeric, we'll be on a group of farmers. You see, I think, Mr. Guguletu, you create the group for the farmers who will be growing turmeric. And as you'll be doing the preparation, everybody will be doing the same preparation, same day. We'll be moving together, we'll be doing the lectures and so forth. So we'll be together because we are one team, as you know. Yes, Gauteng is a good place to plant turmeric. The temperatures are very good. Yeah. But we need to, our source of water must be also very good. Yeah. Bore water is also very good. You have to also test the water from the rivers, especially if there's no mining activities, because we are also scared about cyanide, because we want our crops to be 100% organic. We don't want any contamination with anything. You see, we want people to eat healthy food. It's not only turmeric, even different types of vegetables. I'm going to be teaching you how to grow different types of vegetables using organic methods as well, not only turmeric.
Okay, no, thanks so much. I think some of the compliments we appreciate, and the one Nkanyis with 12 hectares, use it, my brother. The training in the Lama, we're definitely going to announce that towards the end of this program. Northwest, Sister definitely you have to join this program. I know you've got very big land. Sisa and Jigalana, is there any type of turmeric that is favorable for those suffering from thrombosis and therefore taking a regular medication?
I think I can answer that. Turmeric does very well in Africa. One, you must listen attentively. Turmeric came from Africa. You see, it's a plant. Yeah, when God created, turmeric was in Africa. The Indians, the Asians, the Bangladesh, and everything, it was due to the trade. If you know your history about Vasco da Gama trade, you see, that's why our crops went to India. Yeah. So turmeric is an African crop. So it does very well in Africa, especially in the southern region. So I think I've answered that. Yes.
Okay, that's lovely. I think, right, just joined, I'm not sure. Look, Dandelion, we're not talking about Dandelion Samsung. When does the training start? We'll announce just now. Very niche crops indeed. Nomfundo Mkaba in self-possession. That's a very long one, Nomfundo. Questions around the availability of resources such as water, land. I think there is a question of obviously irrigation, right? You need water. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, you need
that's
water,
right.
Correct.
So I think that's a very, very important one. And Nomfundo, I'll give you a chance to summarize your question because it's a bit too long. How much should one invest in starting a turmeric plant in 1 hectare?
Yeah, 1 hectare, you need about 1.5 tons of seed. Yeah, that's a once-off cost. After you've harvested, as I've said, you keep on using the same seed. It's a once-off cost. It's a once-off cost. Yeah, you buy it and that's it. For good.
Okay. Dr. Marange, Dr. Marange is going to come up with those costs in terms of how much, roughly, maybe Dr. Marange, just come in quickly, the cost per hectare the tonnage that is talking about?
Right. We are talking about the cost per hectare is around, because remember, the amount you are going to pay will include also all the certifications that we need to do, the mentoring that we need to do, and certification, your EcoCert certification, Fair Trade certification, EU and NOP certification, ourselves registering you for the market, and also all this documentation that is required for traceability, because all the traceability documentation and everything needs to be paid for, and the administration thereof. So we are looking at about €7 per kg, and that's a once-off cost for the next 1,000. I don't know how many years you'll be growing the crop, as we say. So those are the costs we are talking about.
Just convert that to a hectare and in rands, please. I know you're European.
That is a hectare is then 1 ton, as my brother there was saying, she's 7,140 rands per hectare. And then if you calculate the returns, then per hectare, that will accrue the gross income that will accrue to you. Then you can find out that it's a pin in the ocean.
Okay, you are talking about 7,000 euros. Please,
yes.
Please, in rand terms, you're about 150,000 rand. Am I correct?
Yes, 150,000 rand. Yes,
that's right. That is to buy the turmeric per hectare, right? And then I guess that has been answered by Ngwenya on how many seeds, how big the land. Remember, the return on investments, they are out of this world. Sometimes I tend to be very shy to talk about how big the returns they are, because of the lucrative nature of this. But my experts here will talk to that. Kolisa, Hlubi, are there any measurements on how much these herbs one can consume? Can there be any side effects of any kind?
Yeah, can I answer that question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you see, everything you've got to take it in moderation, not in excess. Yes, turmeric, if you have your turmeric tea every day, I was reading from, I'm always in conversation with a lot of physicians in India who recommended their patients who are suffering with kidneys and who have got liver problems and they've got different types of diseases. They've not seen any problems in consuming turmeric. As you are aware that in India, their population, they're about, I think, 1.8 billion. Most of
1.4 billion, yeah.
1.4 billion, and most of them, they consume turmeric. It is for their health benefits, yes, but obviously, you have to take it in moderation. Yeah, you've got to take it in moderation.
In moderation,
myself,
like anything else. Yeah. Okay. And then thanks so much. I think others are just appreciating. Maybe this has been addressed. Do we have a market demand for turmeric? A lot. It's been addressed. There's a lot of market demand, both in South Africa. There was a shortage of turmeric last month with Woolworths and ginger and everybody else. Yeah. Tembisile, yes, it thrives well. I have a small backyard garden where I plant ginger, turmeric, rosemary, thyme, etc. All grows very well, even though I plant blindly. You are now going to plant openly. Eswatini, yes, definitely. You are part of the program, CC. Precious Malinda would love to join the program. Definitely will be allowed to. Does the 7,000 euros include production costs? Dr. Marange?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't include production costs because we don't know. Yeah, we don't know your labor regime, and all that. But we just budget to say at least 5 people per hectare can run a proper turmeric farm.
Okay, I have got someone who, Tulani Ndlovu, has asked a question in isiZulu. I won't repeat it here because it's a bit too crude. I think he doesn't know English very well. He's my friend, and he's been asking a question about the aphrodisiac effect of turmeric. Whether does it have that? If you can answer in scientific terms, you can go ahead. I'm not sure. Or other herbs, Honestly, men are very interested in the aphrodisiac stuff, yes, so you may as well.
Yeah. I think Mr. Marange can answer that.
I mean, the whole thing is, if your body is healthy, then everything else is healthy. That's all we are saying.
Okay, thank you. I think that is more than enough. Okay, can I ask if there's anybody else who's got a burning question to ask? Please raise your hand, and let's acknowledge you and ask a question.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I don't know if I missed the part when our colleagues were sharing the returns on a hectare on average.
Okay, give us the sharing of the returns, please. Is it you, Dr. Marange or Magumbe?
Yeah, I think Mr. Marange knows the returns. Me, I'm a technical expert in growing.
Right,
I'm a crop specialist, so Mr. Marange knows that very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. According to the harvest that we expect, we always do haircuts to say, okay, I know we are going to achieve above 40 tons per hectare when we follow our experts' directions, which I know as well. So we just say, okay, for the tubers, let's just say 40 tons per hectare. And then for the leaves, normally they go from 10 to 20. And you see, if you look at Magumbe's videos, you see some of the herbs are almost coming to the belly. So obviously those leaves will give you around 20. Those that are coming to the knee, all right, they can give you a minimum of 10 tons per dried hectare of the leaves, which we need. So we are ranging from 10 to 20 tons per hectare on the leaves. So for the leaves, as I told you, turmeric coffee is very, very lucrative. And turmeric milk drink is also very lucrative, as well as turmeric tea and other uses from the leaves. So we are looking at least 10 euros per kg. Remember, my brother here was talking about 35. Its range is very high. But we just also go minimum. We want people to work under not too much pressure. So we are saying for the leaves, you expect about 10 euros per kg. And then for the tubers, we're expecting, Magumbe was saying 6 up to 20 and so on. Let's just put it 5 to make sure that we are conservative. Yes. So now we are saying your hectare, the returns will give you 100,000 euros from the leaves, 200,000 euros from the tubers, altogether 300,000, which you multiply by your rate of, let's say, 20 rand per euro. We are looking at 6 million would be the return per hectare. Nothing in agriculture will come to that, because as we are confirming you, we have done our research thoroughly, and we know that the demand for turmeric, because of people now wanting to go healthy, is huge. So that's where we are. It is going to be more than that, we know, but let us work on haircut numbers that we can deal with. So all our concentration is on improving yields. That is what is
me with my conservative mind. I always want to play on the very side of caution here to say, even if you make 2 million rand per hectare, where else can you get such a return on investment? Even if you make 1.5 million, I'm not watering this down as if to denigrate or reduce what my colleagues have said. I'm just trying to be very cautious to say, you make 1.5 million rand per hectare on the seeds as well as the tubers. Mr. Magumbe, I don't want to expose what he does in Zimbabwe, but he's into real estate. He will tell you that he buys houses through turmeric every year. But again, I'm sorry to expose that, Mr. Magumbe, but this is the reality of the return on investment. I want us to be quick in asking questions. I'm going to take 3 questions at a time. If you feel a question has been asked, don't ask again. I'm going to take Nomfundo Kaba, Baile Mashinini, and Lorraine, and Mr. Ratogwa. In that order, please. A very good question, yeah? All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will try to be short and sweet. I'm a special child. Please mind me. But I think some of the things that the doctor has shared, I'm not going to go and summarize some of my questions. But my understanding is that he had shared that turmeric is from Africa.
Yes.
So how do we preserve indigenous knowledge and making sure that, irrespective of its chemical or maybe its health benefits, how do we then preserve this information in our respective communities?
Hello?
The line is very bad. No wonder your line is terrible. Your line is terrible, but I think your question was...
Okay.
Yeah, your question was how do we please summarize your question again?
Yes, how do we preserve indigenous knowledge such as
Yeah. Your line is still not good, Nomfundo,
from Africa.
Nomfundo, your line
that
is
our
not
respective communities are aware of this information.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think the question is, how do we preserve this information, seeing that turmeric is originated in Africa, as Mr. Magumbe has mentioned? I think the question is around that preservation. Let's move to the next one.
Let me give
please, let's move to the next one, and then I'll take an omnibus of questions. I'm going to give that to you. Mashinini.
Okay.
Mr. Kaba and the team compliments and Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll hit the ground running. I just want to find out there from Dr. Marange there, and then and the host. The problem is that, as you said, the 150,000 that is in rents to buy the turmeric seeds per hectare. If I'm correct, I need that the euro is 7,140 per euro. Converted to rent is 150,000. If I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So in so saying, maybe as a suggestion, I don't know if it would work, because I mean that kind of money, it doesn't go around lying maybe somewhere, and then So can't we crowdfund maybe that as an idea moving forward before you come from Zoom to come for a training, just to package that as part of the training? Because at least per farmer, if we were to grow that, we would maybe put it into category to how are we going to start and how many are we in a team, and then we'll start where, and then we'll grow that one gradually. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Your suggestion noted, my brother.
Hello.
Okay, Lorraine. Lorraine, whilst Mr. Ratop is still speaking, you want to say something?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My question is almost the same as the last one, but not really the same. But I wanted to know, because the 150,000 rand is a lot. So is it possible, like a person can say, okay, I'm able to buy the seeds in maybe 1,000 rands, or maybe I'm able to buy the seed 2,000 rand or 5,000 rand. Will you be able to ship the seeds for people who are able to buy in those portions? Thanks.
Okay. So because the other one was a comment, let me Ndata Rasitaba, I see your mic is on. Do you want to say something?
Are you referring to me?
Yes.
Okay, what I wanted to know, if money were manna that fell the Israelis, how much can the market absorb from us here in Africa? Number two, is it critical that we factor honey into the potential cash flow?
Okay. No, thank you so much, Magumbe and Mr. Marange. you want to tackle those questions? First, Nomfundo, how to, make sure that we protect the information. Mashinini was talking about crowdfunding. I think that's something that South Africans and MSWIT and everybody else can, on their own, try and deal with. I think
protection. Yeah, I can answer you that question. I know some areas in Gonarejo. Some have been to Kruger National Park. This is very confidential information. I don't want to empty a lot of things where there are certain areas where turmeric has been found there, and there's never been any farmers there. It's there, photographs there, and sites. I have that data, I have that information. So together, we can always preserve that information. I think that's what I only to prove that turmeric came from Africa.
Yeah, yes. Adding on to that, what we are doing is controlling the whole value chain, because contamination, as far as we are concerned, is the greatest enemy to organic agriculture. So the way we are going to teach people how to plant, the way we are going to teach people how to maintain records is the one where we are going to control contamination and control our quality of our product into the market. That is very important. We don't want to have a situation where our farmers and everyone can be infiltrated with contamination. Everything must run according to what we want. Yes, crowdfunding, it makes life easier when people can come together. This whole thing would like people to come together and be one, right? And share all the experiences together. Those that have got the resources, yes, those that want to come together, come together. It's time Africans come together and work together in this value chain. Correct. That is what is very important to us.
Yeah, I support what Mr. Marange is saying. Africans must come together and work together, because I got some disturbing information from 2 white farmers who told me that, please don't share this information with your people, but yet they are farmers, they're doing turmeric. I was so disturbed. There are some 3 turmeric growers in Gauteng. They are growing turmeric and they're value adding. They are extracting it. They're selling it. Yeah, but you see, I'm so happy to work with my people. Yes. You should also love your people. Yes. But otherwise, you see, working together with what Mr. Marange is saying is very important. Let's work together as a team. Together we'll succeed. As I've said, Africa has got the best climatic condition, the southern region. If you grow your peas, your oranges from Zimbabwe and from South Africa, if you're growing oranges, exporting from South African oranges to Europe, Indians are growing their oranges. You can't compare the two. Our oranges are of high quality. Look at our grapes in South Africa. They're of high quality as compared grapes from even some of these countries like India or China. So Africa has got a very big advantage. The climate, the soils, the water. So let's take advantage of that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Magumbe. And the other questions, of course, I'm not sure, I got disturbed a bit with my network this side. I hope you had answered literally every other question, right? The working together of the seats, I think that is fine. We're taking the last batch of questions because in 5 minutes we must close to respect the time. We normally take an hour and a half or so. Dudu, I see your hand. Others, maybe they didn't lower their hands. Dudu, you can ask.
Thanks, Chair. Good afternoon, everybody, and a happy new year. Questions around the 150. Firstly, I just wanted to check, is there a case study that we can look at where this program has already been done? What were the successes? What were the gaps? Is there a way of a milestone to the program from a payment perspective to say, why don't we cut it up into chunks? Because as somebody said, we don't have, at least I don't have 150,000 lying around. So how can we milestone that payment? And what are the responsibilities from a project management perspective? So when I look at an MOU, it's what are my responsibilities as the farmer? What are your responsibilities as the program designers and program managers? And is this cost inclusive of the training? Maybe if it's not, then what is the cost of the training? And how can we do this in a milestone manner for those that don't necessarily have 150,000 rands to spend upfront? Thanks, Chair.
Okay, you can answer that because there's a bit of questions in one. Gumbe?
I think that question can be answered by Mr. Marange because it's a logistics question.
Yeah. Right. The answer is very simple.
The technical part.
The answer is very, very simple. Is to say the course includes, as we said before, the training, the mentoring, the record keeping, the certification, and so on. Because without certification, you can't be able to be on the market. And traceability is important. Remember, we'll be checking on everyone's daily processes through an app which we are going to create, through record keeping that we are going to give you, which must be done. And when there are red flags on anything on a daily basis, we then attend to those. And that's a cost. Because at the end of the day, that money, we know it's not available to everyone, but anyone coming in, like some people that have done in sacrificing to come in, then we will know that those people are serious. And those that don't come in, then we know they are not serious. They will come in later on. It doesn't matter. And remember, we are going to be creating funding ourselves as we go along. But we can only then provide funding to people later on that would have come into it. You have noticed Guguletu has funded a lot of projects in South Africa through Amandla Omnotho, and people are just waiting for donations, right? Where now they do something, and once they don't strictly monitor the dairy activities of the farm, they are not passionate about it, so they can and a lot of these projects have gone down the drain because people didn't have their own input there. When you've got your own input in there, then you safeguard that input because it's an investment which you want return on investment. That's what we've also noticed. So the moment those that may not have the funding right now, we are saying wait until you have that.
That's right.
And if you don't come in. We want to be very clear on that one. Please don't come in if you are not ready. When you are ready, then that's when you can come in and you can call us. The ship will be moving. This year, it's action year. We must do things and get things done. And we'll be on the market. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, my leader. That's very, 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 very important. And I think the other question is, we have taken people to Zimbabwe. If you want to go visit there or go to, we've got a farmer, by the way, Miss Telezi, bought 0.5 hectare of the seeds because she wanted to start. So that's significant in its own because she's planting and she wants to propagate her own seeds and then plant more hectares going forward. So those are some of the strategies that I think are important. But I think a lot of things, we'll discuss it within Amandla Omnotho platform. Especially, we're going to create a group. Remember, we're going to bring Mr. Magumbe this side. He's consulting. He's a highly specialized person who does all of these things. So what unfortunately I'm going to have to do this time around, because we've got over 40 WhatsApp groups right now. When you give people a link and say, we are creating a WhatsApp group of turmeric, I can tell you I'll have 1,250 people parking there and doing nothing. We are unfortunately going to have to give people on all our WhatsApp group a message to say, we are going to take the cost, all of us, of bringing Mr. Magumbe this side through Global African Herbal Solutions and Dr. Marange. And there's going to be this amount of time that is going to stay in South Africa. We'll probably look at 2 provinces, whichever provinces where there's many people, and that's what's going to help us to determine where he's going to be stationed. He charges a certain amount of money to come to South Africa, and then we'll table all of those things. I'm saying that transparently and open to all of you, and tell people that this is what is required. If you are interested, because I don't want to create another WhatsApp group where we've got a lot of people sitting and parking and doing nothing. So we are going to be stricter this time around. Like we said, we want to implement, and we want to make sure that people who are prepared, they're going to come and join. We probably identify a farm somewhere in Jozini and be prepared to go learn how this whole thing is done, where it's going to be doing practically how to plant and farm. Maybe it's going to move from one farm to the next farm to make sure that he sort of like caters for people that would have been part of this. So that's going to be what is going to be that's going to be happening going forward, and that's essentially sums up the announcements in terms of where are we going. Maybe your last word, Mr. Magumbe, and then to Dr. My good doctor, to Chief, to sum it up, and then we close.
Yeah, what I can only say to everybody, to the viewers, the Bible says, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." Now that we've got the knowledge, the expertise, and the wisdom, and God has revealed to us how to grow turmeric, let's take advantage of that. Turmeric has changed a lot of millions and millions of people's lives in India. Why can't we take advantage? Yet we've got the best climatic conditions. I also give thanks to Mr. Guguletu and Mr. Marange, who have made this thing possible. So everybody who is listening, start small. Don't despise small beginnings. At the end, we'll be very successful. I started very small, and I'm growing. Every year I'm growing turmeric. My life has changed, and I'm a very humble person, as what Mr. Guguletu says. I normally do my things sometimes quietly and secretly. And yes, I've seen a lot of people in Mozambique who are also doing turmeric farming, but they are Jews, but they're doing it in a much bigger way. And they're generating millions, if not billions, and they're doing it quietly and secretly. Why can't you take advantage of that aspect? And let's work together in harmony. And I love South Africa so much because my mother came from South Africa, from KZN. I've said it several times. She's from the Kumalo. She's a Zulu. So, yeah. Let's work together. Yes, I'm a Zimbabwean. Yes, but my mother came from South Africa. That's what I can say. I can conclude. Thank you very much for listening. I'm a crop specialist.
Thank you so much.
I'll be with you through and through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Magumbe. And Mr. Marange, Dr. Marange.
First of all, I would like to thank you, my partner, for a long time, Guguletu, for having all these successful meetings and enlightenment shows. And we are saying you are all welcome to participate. This year it will be action, and less talking. So we are ready. The market is ready. Remember, we have now presence in Germany. So we must work together and dictate the prices there and not be price takers. That's where we are now. So let us all work together. Let us now go that extra mile for Africans to come together and access this. And Mr. Magumbe in our turmeric, he will lead us to success. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. The few other announcements are as follows. Eswatini conference, they are meeting, I think, in a couple of days. Maswati, we're having a conference in June. Amandla Omnotho is growing there, and we are definitely, I was talking to your Minister of Agriculture during the day, and he's very excited. So please take note of that. And this forms part of the masterclass. Maybe let me highlight that. This turmeric farming forms part of the masterclass, practical masterclass that we'll be doing. Remember, we spoke about masterclasses. We've conducted you just to test. They've gone very well. And this is one of the masterclasses we'll be sharing with you. Whoever wants to come onto the masterclass of turmeric, and I'm going to try and see Dr. Mr. Magumbe how probably if there could be any theoretical class when you come and talk, but more so, we want to be very practical. And very importantly, those who want funding, I want the pitch, your one-page sort of like project summary in terms of the work that you've done and how much you want. Email that to guguletu@adamopeaks.co.za, guguletu@adamopeaks.co.za. Like some of you have already emailed that. I'm going to put that onto the onto this chat box so that you are able to see it. guguletu@adamopeaks.co.za. And then, very importantly, Tobe, Mrs. Ndlovu, we are already implementing now our project at Nonodi in Devon, north of Devon, in terms of building our gated estates. We said we're talking only this year. So for those that still want to come on board, you've been shared with information so you know what's happening there. Zakele Madela as well, you will talk next time. I know you've got a network issue there, Mr. Madela. But as I mentioned, on the issue of Rural Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we are already talking to India, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and others who are partnering us to leverage of experience and networks and all that. We'll be sharing with all of you how to become a member of the Rural Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Lastly, on the 27th to 29th of March, I've been privileged to be asked to chair the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus a group in South Africa in driving issues of food security under Women Business Association. So that's one of the hats I'm now wearing. So we are having our first conference in March to drive issues of Agri Business Summit. There will be some teaching sessions there, just like your Dragon's Den and all those types of things happening. We are going to be uploading the links for anyone that wants to be part of that and to even source funding and to be networked there. We're expecting over 40 countries and over a couple of thousand attendees who are going to be there. Already people are flocking in from different countries for that particular conference. So it's a very important conference. Amandla Omnotho is anchoring that conference as well. We're part of it. So thank you so much to every one of you for having joined and come through tonight. And we hope this session was very beneficial and we wish you the best. Good evening.